Hello, hello. About to see if this is working in a matter of moments. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. I think everything is working, and I think we're here for another episode in our WWE 2K25 MyGM Series. Episode number 16. Might be 17. What is funny about this? So I'm filming this the last day. All right. Backtrack. Already messed up. Filming this the same day as the last episode. So if you watched that before this, I imagine that you would. I had to abruptly end that because something came up. Even though that was going to be the end of the video, I didn't get to do a proper outro because I had to go do something. And I had to do a lot of things this week. So that's why, again, I'm filming this one today while I have some free time. So the last episode was episode 15. So this is episode 16. So I was right there. Now, I will also say this. And I have said this before, that whenever I stop filming, my brain, I guess, starts to work a little bit better, and I can start to think things out instead of me trying to figure it out here. And exactly that happened because I have a lot of notes wrote down for things that I want to do continuing onwards. Now, the number one thing is a big thing. We did a talent scout search and we have found another star. We have signed another star, and that is someone that was on the roster last season. That person is Tiffany Stratton. We used our last homecoming card on her, and we are bringing her in to feud with her former tag partner, Trish Stratus. It makes a lot of sense because last season they were the women's tag team champions, and then they lost them. And Trish, we could say blame Tiffany for that. That's why we're going to go ahead. Those two will be feuding, but we got to wait 2 weeks. So there is that. Now, some other things that I have thought out, we will wait till after Money in the Bank, but slowly but surely we can get some things figured out. Now, I will also say, going through this week's episode, I'm preparing for chaos right here because the commissioner goal is to have your most popular males go against one another, and that consists of Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker, which Braun Breaker is at a 0 stamina. So we're doing this match with Seth involved because Carmelo Hayes is gone for 2 weeks. Ilja, Dragnov, and Dominik Mysterio continue their rivalry. We've got another Falls Count Anywhere match taking place. We have a backstage brawl between Jey Uso and Carlito. I will say one of the things that I have prepared, this is kind of a teaser for it. But again, I want to wait till after the pay-per-view too. Also, should point out, the pay-per-view is Money in the Bank. Very important pay-per-view because the brand warfare matches, the power card reward is $100,000. I very much would like to win those matches. And then the main event, women's tag team title match, Rhea Ripley and Stephanie McCurry versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. It's been an actual while since we've seen a women's tag team title match. These four have been feuding with one another, but not in a tag team perspective like it was supposed to be. So we're bringing that back here. As you can also see, kind of a little bit of another warning, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley not entirely happy here. So there's that. As well, we'll see what all happens in the course of this video. This should be done in a matter of moments. This, I'm hoping to get done very soon. This as well, even though I don't like doing that many Falls Count Anywhere matches. We also used a lot of power cards while I was also not filming. So we use the homecoming card. We use the, I just want to, Raw is in their last place. Again, very rarely do people sign stars. So that one for Raw might not be meaningful. Increased match cost for ECW and Vito Star for NXT. We still got a lot of power cards. So I don't want to we need to start using some. Let's put it that way. It's good to save, but at some point you need to use them as well. It's Roman Reigns, Supreme. Braun is only out for 2 weeks. That is a good thing. That is a lot better than I expected. So I'm sorry that happened to him, but Triple H also kind of asked for that, if we're being honest. As Ilja wins again. It is hilarious that I also wrote, because I have these matches wrote down, and then I have the things I want to do wrote down, and I underlined Roman's name under the wrong section. So only I knew that, but now y'all know that. As Carlito wins against Jey Uso. I will say, because this is I want to do Kalani Jordan versus Io Sky for the women's U.S. title, so that's why we needed Io Sky in a class change. And once Tiffany comes back, we will have to probably change her to a face. We might change Trish, but it will probably be Tiffy. So we'll get to that when we get to that. So I think we had the best show out of everybody, if I'm just being honest. We had 3 4-star matches, where Raw only had 2 and NXT only had 1. So that's a good thing. Also, I'm going to be honest. I don't like being down in the fan count. I've said this numerous amount of times. These numbers, I swear, are like going backwards and just, they look completely different. You know? Something doesn't add up. So if I'm not in front in the fan count by the end, it will bother me a little bit. But because it's like so weird and different, and something just doesn't add up, that I don't know if it'll bother me that much. I'm lying a little bit, but. Boss, I'd like to get as much ring experience as possible as part of my journey to becoming the greatest superstar at SmackDown. Booking me in a no-holds-barred match would be a great choice for both me and the brand in either this show or the next one. How about it? That is kind of a bold thing to ask, Jalen. Do not book your most popular specialist this week, which is Trish. What sucks about that is she is a good promo for us. But it is kind of, we needed her and Roman to do our brand supremacy matches. So I was probably not going to put her in a match anyways. So that is a good thing. The thing that's going to be difficult here, obviously, is filling out the card, because we got 2 people out, and we have Braun Breaker out, and we technically have Trish Stratus out, and we only got Roman doing a promo. So we have a lot of people out technically. So we'll have Roman do a promo, like I said. Everybody here also, and like freaking Dominik and Ilja are both with 0 stamina. So there's that as well. I think I can say this. This is a bit risky here. But we could bring Braun back. You know what? I think we'll save it. We'll save it and bring it back after the pay-per-view. So we, logically speaking, should just sign a bunch of people for the week. It's a bit of a waste of money, but it's kind of the most beneficial thing as well. So the good thing is we do not have to do any more freaking. We got this one done. So we need to do a lot of Falls Count Anywhere matches. I just told y'all we should probably sign a bunch of people and put them in the Falls Count Anywhere matches. We also got to have 1 no holds barred match. So Io and Kalani, I think, makes a lot of sense as a Falls Count. I think this would be a good TLC match. We might end up changing this. We'll see. Jey Uso and Carlito, we could probably put in a match together. We could also Trick and Jalen Brunson, we might put in a match together. Because everybody else, like I said, is kind of in a messed up situation. Seth is also here. It'd be kind of cool to find somebody for Seth to face. So Rhea and Tatum Paxley, I want in a match together As I also don't know why they have Gigi as her rival and not Pac. I don't know how this got started. I don't know what type of match these two would be good in. For now, we will say a submit. For now, we'll put it as an ambulance match, but this might end up changing. We need Brunson in a no-holds-barred match. Jey Uso and Carlito in a match. We also could book Sheamus. I forgot about Sheamus. Sheamus kind of seems a little bit forgotten. I think what we're actually going to do, because Carlito and Sheamus technically were feuding, but we've now turned that to Carlito and Jey Uso. So we could do Sheamus versus Carlito and a special guest referee with Jey Uso as the referee. So I like that. That one's okay. We need someone for Brunson to face. I would prefer to find someone for Seth to face. Logically speaking, we could, and this does make a lot of sense, to do Seth versus Trick for the U.S. title. And if Seth wins, we could do Seth and Carmelo for the U.S. title at the pay-per-view as our matchup. So I like that. I think it kind of benefits us to not put it in a stipulation as well. This, we won't put in a stipulation. I'm trying to, like, figure out the order. We're going to change this up. We're actually going to put Stephanie and Gigi in the ambulance match with Rhea cutting a promo for us, because Rhea is a better promo than Stephanie, correct? Is that still true? Yes. I also still haven't looked at how to fix that. So we need someone for Brunson to face in a no-holds-barred match is our priority now. I also didn't expect this to work out as good as it did. I was kind of a bit perplexed when I started all this. All right. So who here would give Jalen Brunson a good no-holds-barred match? Brunson is a fighter, correct? He is. We're also going to be very nice to Brunson. I'm going to use this for Roman at the pay-per-view. I knew I was forgetting something. I'll also tell you all this. I set all this up when I stopped filming last time, and then when I came back this time around, none of it was set, so I was like, I'm glad I wrote all this down. But I forgot to give this power card to Roman. We will do that at the pay-per-view. For the time being, we will give it to Brunson. That way he is no longer a level 0, and he is a level 6 instead. So we're going to put him against Brooks Jensen, because that seems like the best. It legitimately is it is the best option, sadly. But he's only going to be here for the week. And I'm going to hope that Brunson wins, you know. He asked for this matchup. So, Jalen Brunson, Carmelo would be a good tag team, but it's not really needed. In a no-holds-barred match. Boom. We have an ambulance match, a special guest referee match. I think this matchup's probably going to be better than Kalani and Io. I can't guarantee that. But again, I also hope for a title change where with Kalani and Io, if a title change happens, it's okay. You know what? We'll just do them a straight-up match. We'll give them a straight-up match, a straight-up tables match with no title on the line this week. If I put Trish in a promo, that takes the commissioner goal out, yes. Dominik and Ilja. At the week after the pay-per-view, we're going to probably have them in a steel cage match. So that means that I want to give them the week off. We'll have Chad Gable do a promo for us. And I think it kind of makes sense for Tatum Paxley to actually do a run in here. So who does that leave us with? Dominik or Ilja? Kind of screwed both. Timeout. How many? Let's look over here first. We have 2 health spas. We have 3. Sorry, 3 bronze health spas and 1 gold one. I think we will use this one on Dominik this week, and we'll use the one at the pay-per-view on Ilja. So we'll have Ilja cut a promo for us this week, because I think they were the same level promo anyways. So that was while we did all that. So, Seth Rollins versus Trick Williams for the U.S. title. It makes sense because we're planning to do Seth versus Carmelo at the pay-per-view in a cage match, and the U.S. title, I wouldn't mind being on the line in that. Io Sky versus Kalani Jordan in a tables match. Special guest referee Sheamus versus Carlito Jey Uso. That's the special guest referee. Jalen Brooks asked for a no-holds barred match, so we brought him an opponent for him to face in it in Brooks Jensen. And Stephanie Vaquero versus Gigi Dolan in an ambulance match in the main event. This would be a good casket match, but we will opt out of that. This is also a very rare week where we don't have a backstage brawl as well, as I realized. So Roman and Trish. And Money in the Bank, Roman should be in our brand warfare match. Trish should be in our brand warfare match. Seth versus Carmelo Hayes. So we have all that lined up. The important things start with those brand warfare matches, and we follow it up after that. So now, episode 109, because I've went through all this stuff, and I should have wrote all this down when I broke it down, but we can have some discussion here because I have a lot of gaming notes for y'all. This is AHS Plays, isn't it? So, there's a lot of the games that I play have like challenges, seasonal and limited time challenges, and I'm going to go through all of them that I've recently completed, and by recently, in the past week. So the main one would be Fortnite season. This new season is coming to a conclusion this week, the Simpsons season. I've said it several times. I like The Simpsons, but I'm not going to act like I know every single thing about The Simpsons. And I try to play it a lot because I knew that the season lasted like less than a month and it wouldn't be there that long. And I contemplated buying the Battle Pass or not because of that. But I made the rule was if I complete all the challenges and get to level 70. I thought I only had to get to level 60. Then I Googled it. I had to get to level 70. If I got to level 70, then I'd buy the Battle Pass. And this past weekend was extra XP weekend on the game. And so I got to level 70 a lot quicker than expected. So, spoiler, it's not really a spoiler alert. I got to level 70. I bought the Simpsons Battle Pass. And I unlocked everything. So that is a good. On UFC 5... the punch card, I get a lot of those challenges done during the fight week because it's during the fight week you legitimately only have 1 week to get those challenges done. So I get a lot of the punch card challenges done there. So it's kind of like two things at once. But recently I completed the level 30, which is the last level on the punch card, which is UFC 100 Dan Henderson for one of my favorite fights / knockouts in UFC history. With Dan Henderson knocking out Michael Bisping. So I needed that, and I got that done yesterday as well. On NBA, this one's not as important, but I'm not the biggest My Team fan anymore. I used to play it a lot in the past couple of 2Ks, but a couple weeks ago they had like the Halloween challenges, and I spent a lot of time doing that. Trick just does not lose. I would have liked to done freaking Seth versus Carmelo for the U.S. title, but Trick just does not lose. Good for him. So, I have the Amethyst Khalil Ware card, and I have the Dynamic Duo Tony Allen. Okay, Rio's promos are not as impactful as they used to be, which sucks. So, a lot of my free times goes to getting these challenges on. This is why I've still, surprisingly, good for Bronson. Good for Bronson. Not so good for Brooks Jensen, but I think we kind of knew that risk going into it. So why I still have not finished Twisted Metal Season 2. It's because I've, spent a lot of time doing stuff like this. I'm tired of seeing Nikita Lyons on my screen. She has cost us so many of these brand warfare matches. So, I'm going to tell y'all this now. Bro, all Extreme Rules. You know what? I can respect it because it's ECW. That's legitimately how every ECW show should be, is all Extreme Rules matches. So we did have the lowest main events, sadly. I did see that. And NXT and ECW are beating the shit out of us in the fans somehow. And I don't know how. I don't know how. I'll never know how. But again, we're still in first place. Again, I don't know how that works. I'm not complaining about that. Okay, that sucks, but he was not planned for this week. That match was rigged. You know Uso has got it out for me. Got it in for me. I said out. I want to meet him in the ring within the next 3 weeks. That seems reasonable. Sending you this message from the hospital. Vicar put me here with her underhanded tactics. I can't get her childish victory celebrations out of my mind. I need to get. I don't know how she could see that if she was in the ambulance, by the way. So Carmelo Hayes, like, you know, he kind of disappeared on us. A last man standing match. I would preferred it to been a steel cage match, but I'm okay with a last man standing match as well. So Carmelo Hayes and Seth Rollins in a last man standing match. That is fine. We're going to have Dominik do this promo, correct? Do I have Dominik do the promo? Because Rhea's promos have not been helping us a lot lately. So we'll have Dominik do the promo here. While I'm thinking of it, thing one. This needs to go towards Ilja because the main event is probably going to be Ilja versus Dominik in a cage match to conclude their rivalry. Thing two. Let's go ahead and get this purchased. Hopefully it helps. Thing three. What does this get us? A high rating. All right. This is going to Roman Reigns. Boom. Oh, he has not said that in a long time. I feel. He probably has. I just not been paying attention. We'll use this on somebody else. We probably could. I just don't know of who at the moment. Any others, like, worthy of being used at the moment? We will wait. All right, back over here. Who's got a low stamina that could be beneficial towards? Sheamus. I forgot about Sheamus. I feel we should. We're gonna. Yeah, we'll use that for Sheamus, the gold one. We'll wait this week, and we'll wait. We'll wait. You know what? No, we'll go ahead and use it now because he's legitimately at a 0. All right. So Sheamus is gone. Tiffany is back. We have a last man standing match. We have Trish Stratus in this match, which this is a tag match, by the way. So maybe that could be beneficial. Roman is right there. All right, I like all of this. I like all of this. It's very rare our pay-per-view plans go according to plan because somebody always gets taken out. But right now, it seems everything is going to plan. Sorry that I was hitting that so many times. All right, that should be done soon. We should be able to get this done by the end of the month. So there's that as well. All right, let me write all this down. As Trish is in our opening contest, teaming with Bianca Belair to go against Indy Hartwell and Roxanne Perez. Bianca Belair of ECW. Indy Hartwell of Raw. Roxanne Perez of NXT. And we won. That's one of them. Thank you, Trish and Bianca. Last man standing match, Seth Rollins versus Carmelo Hayes. As Mello in his return picks up the victory. Good for him. NXT is going down our old rabbit hole of freaking backstage brawls. As Omos now is a double champion. Chris Sabin's a double champion. He's the winner of this on this show. These two have been feuding for 2 seasons now, and it should be concluding right here. All right. Roman Reigns is facing Otis of NXT. The only all right, I was going to say the only champion. Grayson Waller is the ECW champion. Yeah. Grayson Waller of ECW. And Charlie Dempsey of Raw. So let's see. Who wins this? Otis! I had a great freaking thing to say, but we lost, so I can't say it. And y'all never know what it is. Because I'm very pissed. LOL. Alright. I have something big planned here. I don't think it'll work, but I can at least try it. We got another injury rehab card, so that's a good thing. NXT also has 12 trophies and 6 million fans. How the hell, not only they surpassed us, but freaking ECW is kind of crazy to me. So, I don't think we'll ever get our fans back, which sucks. But, I already told you I'm not bothered by it. Wink, wink. Alright, here's the crazy thing. I'm mainly trying to trade Gigi Dolan and Ted Pettis because they are not happy here. And I want to try to trade Chad Gable because we don't really have any plans for him. Now, who we're going to try to trade him for is the crazy thing, and that is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. But I've also just realized that they are worth a lot of money. So I'm not adding this all up. I didn't expect them to be worth that much. I'm willing to put an extra $100,000 with it. Okay. This is a lot. The most I'm willing to put is $175,000. I just realized they're worth like $500,000 together, at least. All right, I think. Okay, there we go. I will take that. I will take that. That was a good trade for us. It did cost us a lot. Now, why did I do this? It's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So we have a lot of expensive talent on our roster now. So that was massive for us. That was pretty massive. Is there someone here that we don't necessarily need that we might could get a little bit of money back for? Because I did want to make a freaking arena improvement, but now we spent a lot of our money, so we can't. So I will pass for now. We might at some point, but for now we will pass. I'm not giving up money and a star. Jakar Jackson would be good for us, but I just went over how much we need the money, so I won't do that. Same thing applies here. We're getting robbed in this deal. We're getting robbed in this deal. All right. I've got a lucrative... Oh, my goodness. We have not got one of these at all during the course of this series, and it is kind of hilarious because this is realistic. Roman, this would actually happen to Roman. I got a lucrative deal for you. Roman is getting pretty popular, and a major studio approached us to have him star in a movie. The deal's simple. Roman shoots the picture for 4 weeks, and SmackDown gets $620,000. The downside is that Roman won't be able to do any shows while he's shooting, but he might come back even more popular if the movie does well. I've waited a long time for this, and I hope that it could help us out a lot. It does suck that Roman is the champion and this would happen, but this is kind of realistic, like I said, so good luck filming your movie, Roman. Hey, boss. I was hoping to take some personal time. Can I get 2 weeks off? I will give her 1 week off because we can't lose our both of our top stars. We're going to lose one. Both is a lot. Hey, boss, I've been talking with Brunson a lot lately, and he had this great idea that we should team up for a tag match. I think we'd actually make an awesome tag team. Can I convince you to take a chance on and book us in a tag match the next few weeks? Eat. What's funny about this is, like, we could have Brunson replace Reigns for a short time period. Using one specialist in a match increases its quality. We're probably using that because we have a lot of specialists on the rosters. Superstars who cut promos earn 3 ring XP. Run-ins generate $500 for each one. I don't like doing that many run-ins. This one benefits us the most. All right. Because I asked for, do not book your most popular fighter this week. Who the hell is that? Please let it be someone that. Oh, you got to go down the list. It's literally Trick. It's literally Trick. Can we have Trick do a promo, at least? No, because I think it said do not book. Not in a match or just in general. Okay, so. Sorry, Trick. All right, thing one, I just. Oh. All right. We're doing it. We're finally getting to the Coliseum. I know that it sucks that we just got all this money and we're legitimately spending it all right away, but this one gives us the fan boost. And we're doing that as well. So hopefully that helps us out. I don't know if it will or not. It's also going to be a week with no stipulation matches because of it, but we do have 2 new stars that their first time on SmackDown is going to be in some new facilities. So there's that as well. All right. How many people are under contract with us? Jey Uso, Carlito, and Jalen Brunson. I think I could afford Jalen Brunson's contract, which the Dallas Mavericks couldn't say that. We will use this on Jey Uso. And then next week, use it on Carlito. I also forgot we had this extra $100,000. I don't want to immediately use it. Again, I like to say that in my back pocket, but I also will admit I forgot about that. So, opening contest. Jey Uso and Jalen Brunson versus Carlito and Braun Breaker. Correct? So, I will say this. My plan is to do Roman Reigns versus Dominik Mysterio for the WWE title whenever Roman is back now and whenever Ilja and Dominik is done, which should be before then. And that's why we're doing Jey Uso versus Carlito, because Carlito's aligned with Dominik, Jey Uso's aligned with Roman. But now that both of those are still tied up with something else, my other plan was to do Braun Breaker versus Jalen Brunson, because Braun Breaker is a heel bruiser, Jalen Brunson is a face fighter. The 2 line up, and it gives Jalen Brunson someone that's like really experienced to be in there with. So that works out good for us. Down here though, we're gonna have Tiffany and Trish reunite. I will admit the thing that sucks is that we're going to have to either... All right. I don't mind having Bianca and Jade on the roster, but Bianca and Jade are going to team and feud with Rhea and Stephanie McCurry, which sounds insane, but I think... Insane in a good way. But in doing so, I have to turn 2 of those people heel. I think it would benefit us more to do Bianca and Jade as a heel tandem. So... But their first night on SmackDown, they will team up to face Tiffany and Trish, who are reunited. So this is a massive tag team main event. Boom. So whenever we get to we're going to turn Tiffany face and Jade and Bianca heel. There's probably an easier way to like do all this, but because this is what I had planned. Also, we'll admit, I didn't expect to get Bianca and Jade on the roster, so thank you, Paul Heyman, for that. Up here, we need Kalani and Io in a match for the women's U.S. title. We'll put this tag match here, which is Jade Jalen Brunson and Jey Uso versus Carlito and Braun Breaker. Down here. This is what, again, it would have been very beneficial for Seth to be our damn champion. The very rare call-out promo. Dominik calling out Ilja. They'll face off next week. You know what? We're just going to give them the week off. We will probably give them the week off. If I could find... What should we do here? Because we can't book Trick. We know that Stephanie Verker could do a promo for us. We have to do this tag match. It'd be nice to do this tag match while all of them line up with one another. So what do we do here? Seth. This would have been also a good week to freaking do Seth and Mello, but conclude their rivalry. But the reason we're not doing with Ilja and Dominik is because we can't put in a stipulation until next week. So you see the issue here. I think we will do Mello versus Ilja with a run-in by Dominik attacking Ilja. And hope for the best. And legitimately hope for the best. We did get an injury rehab card. I make that up. No, we got an extra one. All right. I'm looking at all this stuff to see if there's anything of use this week. That's a layer. Who the hell is this? Now we gotta look and investigate. Thing one, what does Mark Henry's contract look like? Why? Now I can't use that on Mark Henry. I don't know. But ECW who's under contract now. Who is it? That might have been a glitch because there's no one here. Unless I just don't see it. Alright. Anyways. While we could use it, we're using it. Boom. We don't have anybody hurt. We just have people busy. Brunson. Alright, I think we've used enough. Seth, we honestly should have had a match for, but everybody... We need Seth as a heel, but I don't think I can do that this week, no. So he would do an ad promo for us, and Sheamus will do the last one. I'm sorry Sheamus has to do so many promos for us, but I think he'd be good for it. All right. A very rare week where we don't have any stipulation matches, but all matches that make sense. So, thing one, I got to write down the trade, which was Gigi, Dolan, Tatum, Paxley, Chad, Gable, and I believe $175,000 for Bianca, Belair, and Jade Cargill. Episode 111. Episode 11 on the season. Kalani Jordan versus Io Sky for the women's U.S. title. Alright, let's go over these plans. So, women's division-wise, Kalani Jordan and Kyrie and Io Sky for the women's U.S. title. Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus for the women's title. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Verker for the women's tag team titles. Men's division, Roman Reigns versus Dominik Mysterio. Jey Uso versus Carlito. Jalen Brunson versus Braun Breaker. Ilja Dragunov and Sheamus versus Trick Williams. And Carmelo Hayes for the tag team titles. Now, I'm probably forgetting like one person. But I don't know who that would be. Now, I could also say this. We could let Carlito's contract expire and let Seth feud with Jey Uso, even though that doesn't... I'd rather have it be Carlito, so we'll see how that goes. Also forgot that I had all this written down in front of me, so I didn't forget anything. Unless I didn't write it down. Ilja Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. I also forgot. I think I'm supposed to do. When am I? I'm supposed to do Carlito versus Jey Uso, correct? Because that was what Carlito requested. We've done a good job at all that, so that's good. Bianca, Belair / Jade Cargill versus Trish Stratus. I also say all my pins have been giving me a hard time to work with over the past couple of hours. I got all this right now. Now I'll say this. This is one thing. Bianca can be a fighter. Rhea can be a fighter. Jade could be a bruiser. Stephanie Vaquera could be a specialist. So, or a fighter. So I personally want it to... We're going to have to do a lot of like changes that I don't like. We need Stephanie to be a fighter, or I'm just probably going to opt and do a specialist. I don't like everybody being a specialist because, you know, it's kind of like the easy way out. But again, like I said, it's kind of like the easy way out. So we need Stephanie to be a specialist. Rhea to be a fighter. Jade to be a bruiser and a heel. Bianca to be a heel. So we got to do 5 promos at least with those 4. And again, the easier thing would probably just to have be Tiffany. I was going to lie. I was about to lie to you. I was going to say it'd probably be easier just to have Tiffany and Trish feud with Bianca and Jade. But then we wouldn't have anything for Rhea and Stephanie Vaquera to do. Unless they're feuding with each other as the tag champs, which is not the worst idea, but it's not what I plan on doing. So we have all this done. I'm glad that we have this done. Or the arena thing done. I was say all this done. Will I ever make any more improvements? Time will tell. Right now, fan-wise, I told y'all I don't care that much anymore, but I would be lying. I'm lying to y'all. I want to see how much this changes. I want to see how much this changes with those improvements that we just made. So, let's get through this episode, though. I'm only spending $2,000, I think. As Kalani retains. Good for her. Jey Uso and Jalen Brunson win. They could probably have some type of clever tag name. I don't know what. Ilja Dragunov wins, even with Dominik interfering. And Bianca and Jade win in their SmackDown debut. Tatum Paxley's in a match, but Gigi Dolan is not in a match. As Chad Gable is going after the ECW title. So good for him. I think Chad Gable would be a good ECW champion. So didn't make that much of an improvement. But like NXT is like doing something really, really dramatic. What? I don't know. Also have a lot of money still. That's good. But I also forgot that I had to freaking do this. Just so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so we got that done. That's good. I have at least one tornado tag match this week. All right. It seems feasible. Let's think this through. Got a lot to think about. I want Ilja and Dominik in the cage. I want this rivalry to conclude. We will be doing that. Boom. I need. Is there a fixed match card? There isn't. The one time, every time I need a fixed match card, it's never there. I kind of need Seth to be our U.S. champion. He makes the most sense to be our U.S. champion. Because I told y'all I'm about to have Sheamus and Ilja face Carmelo and Trick for the tag titles. I don't need Trick to be the U.S. champion. She's about to do another tornado tag. Or another tag match with these two. I need what? I think if I did these four in a tag team match, I think it would turn a tornado tag match. Let me put it that way. I think it would turn into a rivalry, which I don't really want that. I also just realized we could have done. We could put. I was gonna say we could put Shirk in this match to maybe get Dominik as U.S. champion, but I don't really need that. All right, we need Rhea to be a fighter. I know that for certain. Let's go ahead and get that done. I need Stephanie Recur to be a specialist. Let's go ahead and get that done. I almost did the wrong thing. It wouldn't have been the worst thing, but it would have been funny because I was freaking talking it out loud. So we're going to go ahead and get both of these done this week. Boom. I need Braun Breaker in a match, but I don't even necessarily need... All right. I think I'm going to take the risk while I can have these two teaming together against Trish and Tiffany, and next week we might start their rivalry. I'm not guaranteeing it, but it would make a little bit of sense. We'll do these four in the Tornado Tag match. While I already used that card on Braun Breaker, we're going to have him and Jalen Brunson in a backstage brawl. And I need a Falls Count Anywhere match between these two. Because I forgot. I didn't forget, but I want to get that challenge done. All right. I like that. Sheamus, we need to use. Melo, we need to use. Trick. So we might have like a big fatal four-way next week with Melo, Trick, Sheamus, and Seth for the U.S. title. Hope that there's a fixed match card there and Seth can win. But there's obviously no guarantees there as well. That being said, is there any... We're gonna change this up. Kalani is gonna be in this match. That way we can turn Tiffany. Yes. All right. And Kalani versus Jade down the line does not sound that bad. So Trish is teaming with another former rival of hers in Kalani Jordan. And check out the last episode if you didn't realize in this series. So I'm alright with that. And now we can have Tiffany turn to a face and prepare to face Trish Stratus. Good. We'll have EO run in and attack Kalani. That way, we're not forgetting about that rivalry. And it potentially not turns into a tag rivalry, which is what I want. All right. I like everything I see here, but I feel like I moved a little bit too fast. So, I don't want to, forget something. While we have a lot of people on our roster, we're going to go ahead and use this. And we get one of these every season. That might not affect them that much, but maybe it will. Is there anybody? I think everybody that's being used is kind of on. Who's not being used? That could benefit. Not really anybody. All right. You know what? Screw it. Sheamus. I told you. I'm pretty sure I told Sheamus I would use this on him 1 week, so he will get a bronze one at least. But so Seth, Mello, Trick, Sheamus, Fatal 4-Way U.S. title match next week. At least one tornado tag. We have that. We're about to have to pay Carlito. You know what? No, we're not, because I'm going to go ahead and use this other power card. That way we're even down here. So Carlito, you at least have to stay for an extra 4 weeks. All right. Tornado tag match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And this could hopefully, again, we might be resting Bianca and Jade because they got some low staminas, but they're not really resting. They're just going to be doing those promos that are needed. I smell banana in my room, and I can tell you this. I haven't had a banana in my room, so I don't know where the hell that smell is coming from, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. It's not that it's, like, bothersome, but I don't know why it smells like that. I only got to do 2 more Falls Count Anywhere matches, or 3. I've also realized that we've used all 3 of the NBA stars. Tyrese, we kind of screwed over the most because he only had like 1. All right, Shaq, I think had 2 matches for us. Tyrese legitimately only had 1 match. Or he didn't. All right. Tyrese was used the least effective, let's put it that way. But Shaq feuded with Dominik Mysterio. And Jayla Brunson's feuding with Braun Breaker. So, sorry, Tyrese. I also didn't tell him to lose that freaking casket match. He should have won that. Bianca and Jade win again. And I don't think that turned into a rivalry. Juice wins. Eat. Braun Breaker wins. And Dom wins. Is out for 4 weeks. So, I know that Roman... How long is Roman out for? 2 more weeks. I don't know. I don't know why I pushed to... I don't care about this match. I like Indy Hartwell. I don't know why I keep pushing the wrong button. That main event's interesting. There's no Chris Sabin, though. That main event's interesting. There's still no Chris Sabin. Dom being out 4 weeks is not the worst thing. Let's put it that way. Because, like I said, we're lining him up to feud with Roman. So their timelines could be very close. So we get another one of those power cards. All right, fan-wise, again, we're doing worse. But like I said, NXT either did not move at all or went down. Which I don't think is a normal thing. Look, for us, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But I don't think that's normal. Hi, boss. I think I'm coming down with something. I feel like I may have the flu. I don't think it is a good idea for me to come into work this week, let alone take part in the show. All right. Could be worse. It's fair. It's funny that Roman's requesting this and he's not here. It's fair. Schedule a run in on one of your champions. I asked for that Fatal 4-Way match. Or I asked to do a Fatal 4-Way match. So, main event. I don't like that Braun's only got 0 stamina. All right. Trick Williams, we have not had a match in a while. Sheamus, we've not had a match in a while. Carmelo Hayes, we've not had a match in a while. Seth Rollins. So all 4 of them will be in this match. Is Ilja? Where is Ilja? He's at 0 stamina. It sucks. We might be doing something crazy. We might do something crazy there. All right. There's also no fixed match power card, which sucks. All right. Gauntlet Eliminator. I got a good idea. I have a good idea. All right. Trick. Sheamus. I thought I had a good idea. All right. I've also just realized I'm probably putting all of our male talent into one freaking match. All right. The thing that sucks is I'm kind of screwing Seth over because I wanted Seth to be the U.S. champion, but I think we're just probably going to do Trick versus Sheamus this week with Mello. I can't. Because the run-in has to go for Trick. Time out. If I just did Sheamus and Trick and the run-in for Sheamus, I think I'm, the title's on. Yeah, all right. You see where the issue is there. All right, here's where I was getting wild. New Jack. Who did y'all come to see? I'm going to say something extremely wild. I don't know who I would have John Cena feud with on this roster. Because I would prefer it to be someone like John Cena and Mello would be nice, but I already have everything lined up. I need someone for Seth to feud with. Seth and or Roman. And we could have Seth and Dominik feud instead of. So I kind of want New Jack on the roster. I'll be very much honest with you. New Jack or freaking Cena. I thought I did a challenge to get an extra set of these. Did I make that up? No, it's for this week. All right, because we're about to get another one of these. We could also have. It sucks. All right. Thinking this through. I'm now thinking this through. We could have Trish put our women's title on the line and Tiffany Stratton do a run in. We can't have Kalani. Ooh, we could do a women's tag here. But again, I don't know who the hell does the run in then. Because Kalani was not out. This challenge would be a lot simpler. I also, again, want New Jack on this roster. Am I crazy for picking New Jack over John Cena? Maybe. Jimmy. There's Jimmy. Angelo Dawkins will not be back here because he tried to take money for us that he shouldn't have tried to take. Taken. I like taking more. All right. Jimmy Uso. I kind of want to do New Jack and Roman Reigns. It would also make sense to do Roman Reigns and John Cena as well. New Jack's a fighter, correct? He is. All right. I think we're just going to opt out and not do any of it. I've also come to that conclusion. I'm a coward. But I at least have helping out this challenge down here. Because I don't have to do many more. 2 false count anywhere matches and a run-in on your champion. The thing that sucks is Ilja being at, if Ilja was not at 0 stamina, this would make a lot of sense. We could have Ilja run in on Trick. That is the main issue at the moment, is Ilja at 0 stamina. But I think that's, again, the logical choice to make. Also, Braun at 0 stamina does not help anything. I also have come to this conclusion as well. All right, I've come to this conclusion. Trick versus Jalen Brunson versus Carlito versus Jey Uso, U.S. title on the line, Gauntlet Eliminator. Why did I put all 3 of these people in this match? Because you get the 3-week contract extension. That's why. So that makes sense. It will be hilarious if Trick wins, but he should be at a major disadvantage with Sheamus trying to attack him. So that helps. We also have a chance of Jalen Brunson being U.S. champion, which is a little bit funny. Now up here, we don't need Ilja or Braun Breaker in a match this week. Dom is out 4 weeks. Roman is out 2 more weeks. This is difficult. I'm going to, for now, have Bianca and Jade turn heel. I know. All right, we're actually not. What we're actually going to do is a triple threat match. Trish Stratus defending against. We're going to save this for next week. We're saving this for next week. Saving it for next week. Everybody's a face. We only have 2 heel women stars. Am I forgetting someone? No. Am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should be, yeah. All right, I'm not. We need something to be done there. I'll turn Jade heel this week. We could still do the triple threat match next week, and then at the pay-per-view, I could have Bianca change, which is neat. All right. All right. Next week, the go home, we're doing Trish versus Jade versus Bianca in a triple threat for the women's title. So, I think it benefits us to have Jade as a heel in that matchup. Bianca, because she's going against Trish, who's a specialist. We needed her as a fighter, because Bianca's supposed to feud with Stephanie Vicker, correct? Who is a specialist. Actually, I don't even need to change Bianca. All right, we need Bianca to be a heel. We don't even have to change her. We needed to change Jade twice, because she needs to be a heel and a fighter, a bruiser. We already changed Rhea, so we needed to change Jade twice. So, this is getting confusing. So, we don't need to do that at all. We don't have to change Bianca at all. We just got to change her to a heel. I don't need to do that this week, though. She could still cut a promo, correct? I also forgot that we turned Tiffany face. We turned Tiffany face way too early. All right, for that, welcome for the week, Candice LeRae. Do I saw a New Jack? We're definitely doing Candice and Tiffany in a match. I know it doesn't make sense to do a backstage brawl, but it kind of does. All right. We're trying to think this through. Jade, we need as a heel and a bruiser. Fighter. I'm going to keep forgetting it. So we could do this, the triple threat match next week, and then at the pay-per-view, we change her to a fighter. She's already a heel. We need Bianca to be a heel. I don't know when the hell that will get done. That is the issue we're running into now. Because I can't have her be a heel this week. Or, this is what, all right, I've now figured it out. Bianca could be a heel in that match. Jade, we need as a fighter now. Bruiser! What is Rhea? Rhea's a fighter. All right. And then now at the pay-per-view, we could have Jade turn heel there. Boom. I hate that I had Seth and Mello feud, by the way. I will say that up front. Because now these two really don't have anything to do. I also don't have anything for Rhea Ripley or Stephanie McCurry. So, with all that being said, I was about to do something I was going to regret. Because we got to find 2 more match spots. I'm probably not booking Braun or Ilja this week. I think I'm going to do something a bit wild. And have Seth do the run-in on Trick. And then at the next week on the go-home, if Trick somehow wins this, we could have Seth and Trick one more dang time. But I need Sheamus to face Mello. That is a need. Sheamus and Mello in a backstage brawl. So we'll have 2. So now, logically speaking, we do Io and Trish. I don't really want to. I think we're going to do a very obscure triple threat match. But it is a match that I feel the fans wouldn't mind seeing. It's just going to get a low rate, and that's going to be the issue here. Rhea, Io, Stephanie McCurry. Just because it fills out the roster spots. That is the main reason we're doing this. So now, I will say this, because we have the Gauntlet Eliminator set. Boom. We're thinking this through. Let's think this through. If I signed John Cena, he would be going against people that he's already faced in real life, and I personally don't really want that. I want New Jack is just like would be crazy on this roster. I've also kind of talked myself into doing Roman versus Seth. With Seth as a heel, New Jack versus Dominik. If I had enough money, I would also do New Jack versus John Cena because that was rumored to happen like 21 years ago now, which is kind of crazy. 20 years ago, 21 years ago. Scott Hall's also cool. Love Scott Hall. I think I'm going to do the right thing and opt to not sign either, just because I'm nothing. Both of it. If I sign Cena, I'm using him against people he's already faced. I don't really like that. If I sign New Jack, I'm having to change things up dramatically, which I, again, don't really want to do that. I'm willing to opt and wait another week or so. So, on the Go Home show, we should be doing Trish Stratus versus Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair for the women's title. A potential Tiffany Stratton run-in on Trish. I might could find a tag partner for Io and do a women's tag title match with Io in it. This would be a great time to freaking have Asuka pop up, but I know that won't happen. I don't know any of the other matches just for. I know that 2 weeks from now we got to do Roman Reigns versus Carmelo Hayes. or 3 weeks from now. Let's look it up here. That's the only thing that is noted. How many weeks was Jey Uso? Or 6. All right. I also don't have any Falls Count Anywhere matches this week. We only got to do 2 more. I can probably get 2 on next week's show, and then that'll be done with that one. And then what would be left? This or the Talent Scouts. All right. Episode 113. Yes, in real life, obviously a good match. On here, a little bit complicated. Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie McCurry versus Io Sky. Which, logically speaking, if I didn't just write this down, I could have put Tiffany Stratton in this. Actually, I couldn't because she's still a face. So, it would have been the same difference. Because nobody up here. We only have one heel between all 5 of them. So, however I did it would have been weird. Tiffany Stratton versus Candice LeRae in a backstage brawl. Carmelo Hayes versus Sheamus backstage brawl. And in a alright, I use that power card, correct? Before I freaking go any further, I did. Alright. Trick Williams versus Jalen Brunson. If Jalen Brunson has a nickname, I've legitimately never heard it. Versus Carlito versus Jey Uso U.S. title gauntlet eliminator. It would kind of benefit us the most if Jey Uso won because his contract's the most expensive and him and Roman could be champions at the same time. All right, I spent a lot of time on that one. Rhea wins. I also realized I realized that a lot of things I was alright with how all of that went. Tiffany wins. I probably shouldn't have put that in the opener, by the way, but we'll hear about it later. Sheamus wins. Jey Uso wins. Yeet. Oh my God, that's brutal. That is not good. This is a funny ass match. That was brutal, by the way. That was very brutal. 8 weeks is a long time. Hilariously enough, we could have brought in Jimmy Uso, by the way. I do realize that now. We could have. All right. See, look. I think that we've just automatically got it won because now they have more Hall of Fame trophies than us and fans, but we're still in first place. So I'm going to take that as a win, even though I shouldn't. So everybody's ganging up on us now. It has been a long ass time since we've actually got this. All right. How the hell is Trish at a 0 stamina? I guess that. All right. I can't read. Why do I gotta? I don't really want to do this, but I guess I freaking have to. At least one submission match this week. We This is brutality, as they would say. All right. Carlito's also at a 0 stamina. Everybody's at 0 stamina. We got Jey Uso for 8. Jey Uso's contract is legitimately going to expire the week he comes back. Or the week he is healthy. That is hilarious. All right. Who hit us with that power card, by the way? I got something for you. ECW, I got something for you, ECW. Right back at you. Okay. Where's Trick? He is vetoed. Everybody is vetoed. All right, I do think this is the most reasonable submission match we can do between these two. That's fine. Ilja is back. Carmelo is here. We have Carlito do an ad promo for us. Everybody with low staminas are probably doing promos. I'm also... Just to go ahead and get this challenge done. I know the risk. I just want to get the challenge done, though. Stone Cold is here. Which is probably the lowest tone anyone has ever said that with. Yeah, alright. Bronson Reed is here. We could probably find something for Bronson Reed to do. I don't really want to do Stone Cold versus Roman Reigns. That's the issue. I don't really know who I want to use Roman Reigns against. I have to use him against Melo, by the way. I do know that. There's just no one here. Like, Stone Cold and Sheamus would be great, but Sheamus, Ilja, freaking Trick, and Melo, y'all got plans. Roman, Dominik, y'all most likely have plans. I'd have to see someone that'd be like, oh, I'm changing it immediately. Stone Cold, as great as he is, greatest of all time, he's my greatest of all time. Nothing really, like, I feel the need to change that with, you know. We will bring in Bronson Reed at least for the week to do this last Falls Count Anywhere match against who? I don't know just yet. Seth, his tag partner in quotations. I just want to get this challenge done. So we'll do that. Now over here is where it gets tricky. Pun not intended. We can just do Melo versus Ilja in a... Alright, I know what we're doing. Alright, special guest referee match. Melo and Ilja with Sheamus as a special guest referee. Very complex, but y'all at least understand why it is. And surprisingly, we don't have anybody left. Thinking this through. Thing one. Jey Uso is out for 8 weeks. We can bring him back in 6 weeks. I'm not going to use one of these this week, but I'll probably use one at some point at least. That way we get some use out of them. I don't want to really spend any more talent scout points. Braun Breaker kind of screwed us over with that 50,000, by the way. Kind of forgot about that already. Ultimate Warrior and Roman Reigns also sounds a little bit interesting. Slightly more interesting than Roman and Stone Cold, but even then, I can't even say that with a straight face. Stone Cold. All right. I think we're going to do one more. We're going to save it for the pay-per-view. We should not be spending a lot at the pay-per-view, by the way. So I think I might opt and wait to the pay-per-view to do one more talent scout search. And we'll make our final decision there. I'm not guaranteeing that, though. That being said, how much is Stone Cold for the week? I don't think we have enough to do... All right, let's do this. $36,000. 141,156 minus 36,000. 105,000. We would have just enough to do a charity promo with Stone Cold. So we could at least say he was here for the week. Boom. There's something that we could like have better use for Stone Cold with. I also am intrigued. We're gonna use. I want to see how many fans Stone Cold could bring in with a charity promo. He's only a level 4 promo, which is again, ridiculous. All right. Tiffany Stratton stepping in for Stephanie Vicur to team with Rhea Ripley, who these two have teamed in real life before. As they'll be facing Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who we need to turn to a heel, potentially at the pay-per-view. Rhea. What is the pay-per-view, by the way? Bad Blood. Okay, so we get that power card with the low stamina. I'm not that interested in that one. Falls Count Anywhere match. Braun Breaker and Jalen Brunson. Special guest referee Carmelo Hayes versus Ilja Dragunov. We're going to be with Melo, we're going to kind of be screwing ourselves a little bit because we know we got to do a match with him and Roman, which I think, logically speaking, we could do that at the pay-per-view, correct? That might be our pay-per-view match. We'll have to do... I would like to do a run-in there. Roman's only won twice, and he's the champion, which is a lot. Or, that's wild. I don't know why I said that's a lot. And then the week after, because I know that Melo's going to ask for a match with Sheamus. So that show after, we might do the tag title match. But this week, he's facing Ilja Dragunov, with Sheamus as a special guest referee. Falls Count Anywhere. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Are we saying that they know each other? I don't remember a lot of their matches from last year. Was that last year when they were feuding with one another? And then somehow Bronson Reed ended up teaming with them. Or aligned with them, I guess you could say. Kalani, Jordan. I also will say that EO... This is the rivalry. EO and Rhea teaming together, obviously, would have made sense as well. And I did not put 2 and 2 together until legitimately at this moment. But I was also like, this makes the most sense to do in the submission match as well. Women's U.S. title submission match. All right, here we go. Barely got no money. I don't like that turned to a rivalry, which is kind of hilarious. Ron Breaker wins. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. As Kalani wins again. And the rivalry's done. Oh, no. That. Well, I don't know how to. That could be worse. Abyss is here. I kind of want. I would like Abyss, but I'll let them have them. Iron Sheik is here. The same old people are here. I do see Victoria though. I don't think our fans moved up at all. But to be fair, I do remember us getting hit with that one power card as we just earned another trophy. But I'm pretty sure everybody else did as well. So we're also close to like the fan one, I will say. It's been too long, but I'm back. Thanks for the opportunity. The movie was getting some serious buzz during test screenings. This is great for my career. Hey, boss. I know you've probably got plans for the PLE already, and I haven't been on a lot of PLEs. I just think, listen, I'm not feeling under. I don't want to. That's fine. Because we don't really have plans for you anyways. All right. Ron wants to match with Mello. I can do that. Ensure that your least popular cruiser is match this week. Well, this is going to sound like it is. I hope that this is Mello. I'm pretty sure that it is Mello, though. Please let it be Mello. Is it Mello? It is. All right. Isn't it Hell in a Cell like it is? This makes no sense as a Hell in a Cell match. We'll come back to put the stipulation on this. We are going to put Stephanie Vaquer in this match because she has not competed in a while, and she did ask for it, correct? She asked to be on the show, at least. That's happening. Carlito's next match isn't against Jey Uso. I think we're going to take the risk and put him in our matchup over here. So our Carlito-Jey Uso rivalry is more than likely done. So sorry, Dominik. Carlito, boom. Kind of doing him dirty. Now, thing one, and this is extremely, it's not even that risky. We'll use that. Boom. This is it. John Cena again. Sid, the road dog who kind of screws everything over in real life SmackDown. Here's where we're getting extremely crazy. Do I use another one of these? 134,000 is not that much. The Undertaker is obviously intriguing. Cena is here again. Sid would be great. But as I continuously say, I have no clue what we would do with Sid. And with Undertaker and Cena, it's just mainly people they've already feuded with. That's why I'm trying to do things differently. That's why I'm trying to not go that route. Sid, though, is just polarizing. Yeah, big words there. How many of these, by the way? So we got to do 2 more commissioner goals. So legitimately 1 more commissioner goal. And 3 more talent scouts. So I know this is not the smartest thing to do money-wise, but we're about to get another one of these. And I want to be very certain. Eddie Guerrero, Kevin Nash, Devon. Who else is here? Kevin Nash, Eddie Guerrero, Jake Roberts, Devon. I'm sorry to Roman and Mello, but y'all's stipulation match is probably not going to be that crazy now. Roddy Piper, Terry Funk, Tito Santana again, Billy Gunn. I would love to bring in the New Age Outlaws, but we obviously do not have enough money to bring them in together. I will say Eddie Guerrero logically makes the most sense because we could do something with him and Dominik. But Terry Funk is speaking to me. What exactly he is saying, I'm not certain. Something about Terry Funk pops off the screen. I also will admit that we probably shouldn't have did all that, but I did it anyways. As we're about to get another Hall of Fame trophy, so that's a good thing as well. We also have that extra $100,000, so if I really wanted to get crazy, I could do it again, but I already went crazy once. All right. We're going to need someone to replace. So thing one, this is, I will say, what match could we put them in now? I do think an Extreme Rules match makes the most sense. And I said that Sheamus is going to do a run-in. And I think we have enough to do a charity promo, by the way, which we're going to actually opt out of the charity promo and have Jade turn heel while I'm thinking of it. And we could have a tag title match on the next episode. All right. Let's think this through. I think we bring in Eddie Guerrero. I know I just told y'all I wanted Terry Funk. Terry Funk was like the one that's like really popping off the screen. Sid Justice also is popping off the screen. Him being there would just more so be funny and capitalizing on the DLC, the newest DLC. Sid, Eddie, Terry Funk. Nothing against John Cena and Undertaker, but I'm mainly not trying to bring them in because they're going to be feuding with people they've already feuded with, where with the others, that's not the case. And we don't have enough money for the New Age Outlaws, even though that'd be cool as hell. Also don't know how both they're level 25s, but they're in the Hall of Fame, so maybe that's why. So, I think it has to be Eddie Guerrero. If I had... Because I've done this several times where I've had Kevin Owens on the roster and I've brought Terry Funk in and he's feuded with Kevin Owens, or I've brought Terry Funk in to feud with Kevin Owens. I don't know who would logically match up the best with Terry Funk on a roster. I'm not saying Roman Reigns couldn't, but probably shouldn't. I just think that the connection with Eddie and Dominik makes the most sense. And we potentially could do Roman versus Seth now. Sid, I will admit, Sid is kinda... I think we're about to flip a coin for either Sid or Eddie Guerrero. As much as I love Terry Funk, I've kind of talked myself out of him. So I think we're opting for Sid or Eddie Guerrero. So we're going to flip a coin, though. If I can find a quarter. There's none near me. All right. There it is. So, heads. This is a weird looking quarter. What year is this? 2023. All right. Heads, we're bringing in Sid. Tails, we're bringing in Eddie Guerrero. This is a cool quarter. And it's heads. We're bringing in the ruler of the world. We're bringing in Sid Justice. Eddie Guerrero, obviously love you. I was going to say I love all these legends up here, but love is a strong word for the Road Dogg at this moment. Eddie, if we have an opportunity to bring in Eddie Guerrero, I think I will say this. We have an opportunity to bring in Eddie Guerrero again, we will. But for the time being, we're bringing in Sid Justice. And also, again, I said we're getting to capitalize on the new DLC pack. So, here comes Sid. And what the hell he will be doing, I don't know just yet. But it should be good. So I need to get on a new page. Episode 115. Carlito. This is Hell in the Cell. Hell in a Cell. I say Hell in the Cell a lot. There's also a steel cage match. There's even a Hell in the Cell match. It's a freaking steel cage match. I lied to me. Carlito versus Charlie Dempsey, Alex Shelley, and also all tag team masters, you could say. At least Alex Shelley. Being a bit generous with saying about Austin Theory. Carlito versus Alex Shelley of NXT versus Austin Theory of ECW versus Charlie Dempsey of Raw. And our guy, Carlito, thank you. That's cool. That is not cool that you're hurt, though. Charlie Dempsey of Raw. Roman Reigns in his return from filming his movie. I don't know of what movie he's in. He's been filming a lot of movies over the past year, so which one exactly it is, I don't know. But he's putting his title on the line against Carmelo Hayes in an Extreme Rules match. And he does retain, though. As I see Shaq is back. Not on our roster. So Omos is a triple champion now. That might be the second craziest thing of this video. I think Sid getting signed is kind of a little bit crazier. Alright. This would be a decent match. Stephanie McCurr representing SmackDown. And Roxanne Perez wins of NXT. So we're at 6 million fans, which should get us another trophy. Two more trophies. I forgot about that. So we're 2 ahead on the trophies. Alright, I did just think of this. We've said it several times, but like Seth, we never really have something for. I know it's kind of crazy to trade Seth, but it doesn't hurt to look. Abyss. I don't really want to spend any more money. This is who I want. This is who I want right here. Okay, I did that accidentally. Fighter. Okay. He's already a bruiser. He's already a bruiser. I also see Michelle McCool's here now. Chad Gable's also champion now. Where is Chris Sabin? I have not seen him in a minute. Why is he all the way down here as your double champion? That's not good. Let's think this through. I'm talking myself into several things. I kind of, to make Seth happy, we could trade him to NXT. But I need someone for Sid. We're looking for someone for Sid to feud with. Sid and Otis would be okay. Sid and Gunther is at the top of my list, but if I did that, I'd have to give ECW more money. Sid and Shaq would be hilarious, but Shaq is on a big contract for a level 6, by the way. Why is Shaq's contract more than Seth's? Sid and Otis would be crazy, Otis. Omos. But Omos is triple champion. I don't really want to take that away from Omos. I'm not even going to try it. I would be a little bit concerned in trying it. We also need to bring in, preferably, a woman's star because our rivalries got wrapped up over there. I think we can do Tiffany and Kalani and Io versus Trish. I think it's probably the route we're going now because that got wrapped up a lot sooner than I expected. All right, we're back over here. I think we're going for Gunther. I think Gunther makes the most sense. The thing that sucks about it, we got to give ECW more money. I don't want to. It's the most I'm willing to offer. I was going to say $50,000. I'm willing to give you an extra $5,000. That's funny. It's the most I'm willing to offer. Okay. I love Gunther. One of my favorites. Who would do good against Sid? Worst case scenario, we're going to have to do Seth and Sid, by the way. I hope y'all realize that. Do we go for Otis? I've kind of talked myself into Motor City, by the way, but we're going to have to give a crap ton of money up to get Motor City. Luke Gallows and Sid would be some good stuff, but... Okay. That's not the craziest thing. I don't think having 2 basketball players on our roster helps us that much, Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin. Bailey would be nice. But that's going to be a lot. Shotzi, I wouldn't mind giving an opportunity to. So if I just did these 2, let's see what they're... Okay, I'm glad that I looked at this, by the way. How do I do this? Reset cache. Okay, I know that was kind of asking a lot. Most I'm willing to give up is 30,000. I'm not doing the math, but 30,000 most because I only got one offer. Worst case scenario, we're just going to have Seth feud with Sid, by the way. Okay. That's funny. No. No. Hell no. Interesting news. We have research indicating that the SmackDown audience would love to see some battles between Ripley and Jordan. So, something to think about. For the next 5 weeks, any solo contest between those two, including Triple Threat and Fatal 4-Ways, will receive a popularity boost. But I'm sure both women will love to fight each other. That's your decision. I'm glad Carmelo Hayes is happy here. There was a period of time where he was not. All match types this week are free. Self-promos double the popularity decrease. Superstars above 65 lose 5. All right, we're doing this one. Yeah, we shouldn't, but we are. Schedule our run-in this week. Seems feasible. All right. Ooh, Seth, we're giving the week off, obviously. Main event, Fatal 4-Way, Kalani Jordan, Rhea Ripley. Do we go with Bianca or Jade? We'll put Tiffany over here. And do we go with Bianca or Jade? One of the two. We're supposed to change one of the two, aren't we? We got to change. We don't actually have to change either because Stephanie Kerr's a specialist. I forgot. I keep forgetting about that. Kalani. Go back to Kalani. Rhea. We'll go with Bianca. Because we need Bianca to feud, preferably. Yeah, again, the tag team rivalry, it doesn't matter that much. I said let's put Tiffany in this match, and we're going to have Jade go after Rhea. They already knew. So, boom, that worked. We should put a stipulation on it because it's free. Why the hell it's saying 2,000? Oh, it's 2,000 because of the run-in. We'll do it as a TLC match. Screw it. We are also doing a bunch of... The rest of these matches are backstage brawls, by the way. Who the hell should Sid be backstage brawling with? I just realized, like, Sid and Braun Breaker would actually be interesting. I did just realize that. So, we could bring Braun Breaker back this week, or Carlito. But we'll probably opt against... We had a freaking fixed match card. We never have the fixed match cards when we need it. I also just realized I've reached the end of the Hall of Fame trophies. So there's that. Carmelo wants a match with Sheamus. That is fair. Again, in a backstage brawl. We need to give Seth the week off. Trick and Ilja. I don't understand how Ilja's like stamina never it has not gone up. It should have by now. For that being said, though, we will use this bronze health card on Ilja. Why it never goes up, I don't know. Sid and Trick for the time being. It doesn't make the most sense, but we at least understand it. And then I think we're going to make this a triple threat. And then we'll put Tiffany, and we'll do a triple threat up here. Correct. Who did I say EO? EO's supposed to feud with Trish. I'm not the most enthused by that. We could figure that out. And again, it sucks because all these women are freaking face except for Trish, because I was going to have Trish do a promo. So Roman definitely is doing a promo for us. Jalen Bronson is here. I also realized we could probably sign people for the week if needed. So it doesn't hurt to look correct. We only got one more commissioner goal. That doesn't. That only matters because of the card we would get. Great Mood is here. I think I have to sign him. He's not, but Dave Batista is here. I don't want to sign any. I like Batista. I don't really want to sign any of them. Drew McIntyre. I ain't gonna lie. Drew McIntyre and Sid actually sounds kind of crazy. I think that's what we're gonna do. Goodbye, Carlito. I'm only saying that because Carlito is probably not going to book. I know we're not getting a lot of money off of this, but I appreciate you for your services, Carlito. Now, B-Fab. I think I'm going to bring in, but I don't know for how long. That's going to be the tricky situation here. So, with that being said, we will end up changing one of the two of these to whatever fix for the time being. Hopefully, when this is done, we can calm everything down and get the tag team stuff settled and started. So back over here, I need BFAB. We're bringing in BFAB. That is the question I'm asking. She is the only heel star. All right. It's either BFAB or Piper Niven, and BFAB is definitely cheaper. We'll bring in BFAB for the week. I wanted to give BFAB an opportunity, and we will. So, in a tornado tag match, Trish Stratus and BFAB versus Tiffany and EO. With the idea that EO and Tiffany can feud with Trish for the women's title. So that makes sense to me. Leaving a charity promo for Jalen Brunson and Stephanie Vecker. Also, almost didn't put the title on the line of this. It would have made no sense with no title on the line. Oh, right. You know what? Screw it. Not a tornado tag. Backstage brawl because it's free. And do we do it? I am going to take a big risk and do this as a backstage brawl as well. And whatever the hell happens, happens. We should get plus 40,000 fans at least. I know I told you I didn't care about the fans, but I also said that I'm kind of lying. I do care. I just want to see. I want to see. We should at least have plus 40,000 fans by the end of the show. It's going to be a test. I know that some of these matches don't make sense as a backstage brawl, but I've done them for the past however many months now. It hasn't needed to make the most sense. So there's that as well. So we got rid of Carlito. Whenever Jey Uso comes back, we're going to need someone for him to feud with. And the good thing is, I think that Jey Uso is the only person left on him and BFAB and Jalen Brunson. But Jalen Brunson's contract's not that crazy. So there's a chance that we end up doing Jey Uso versus Dominik for the U.S. title and Roman versus Seth for the WWE title, even though I've said that many times since they've both been on the roster. If we're doing Sid and Drew, which out of anybody that like I've seen Sid next to or near, I'm like, that impresses me the most. So that's most likely the route we go there. And then, so I think that leaves everybody even. We're going to eventually have to do something different with Braun and Jalen Brunson. Well, we don't have Braun for another 3 weeks, which I thought he was only out for 3 weeks. So how the hell he's still out for 3 weeks? I'm a little confused by that. So do we have any more contract extension cards? We don't. We also still have this $100,000. I keep forgetting about that, but that's a good thing to forget about. Like, oh, you got $100,000? That's a good thing to forget about, if I'm just being honest. So our main priority is going to be to extend Jey Uso. So I'm going to also do this to everybody. I should have done this the week ahead, but I didn't know. It doesn't benefit me this week to bring anybody back. I should use this for, you know what? Do we have a health spa card? I think we do. We have one. We already used one because we're using it on Ilja, correct? Yes. So I'm glad I didn't make that mistake. We might use it on Jey Uso next week and give him a health spa. Which I don't think you could health spa someone that's injured, correct? You can't do it. Did I not use this week? Screw it. We'll get to that whenever we get to that. Alright. Let me write all this down. Episode 116. We will fill out the match card for next week's episode and then end the video because we are already at 2 hours. And you know it's a good thing when time flies by, because it definitely has not felt like 2 hours. I also have to go to the bathroom. I also have other things to do. I said that at the beginning, but I'm glad I looked down. What is the reward we get here? A contract stitch card. So we can use it on Jeyusa probably. Or BFAB. I wouldn't mind giving BFAB an opportunity, like I said. But ooh, we're kind of screwing Kalani Jordan because we don't have anything for her. It's either going to be Kalani versus Tiffany or the triple threat rivalry, which we will obviously see how that goes. All right. Chaotic episode should be decent. No injuries. That is fine with me. Good for Stephanie. She was a better promo than Jalen Brunson. As Rhea Ripley is now a double champion. And I saw at least one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Our big signings, our big trade assets both got injured. We're going to have to figure that one out. All right, everybody else matches free? All right. No, because that main event costs $15,000. All right. So I at least got the $40,000, but the charity promos. See, again, the fans that don't make sense. Don't make sense. Because I know I was at least getting $40,000 with all the backstage brawls. We did 4 backstage brawls. We got the $40,000, but the charity promos, like, they didn't account for any of the fan increase. So I just think the fans are kind of messed up now, which does bother me a little bit. I said that it wouldn't, but I'm lying to y'all. Again, we're in first place because we got to the Hall of Fame first. That's what kind of matters. Hilaire said, all right, this is a terrible timing for this. Absolutely terrible. Mainly Dominik. Hey, I had... oh, jeez. Why you got to talk so much? Hey, I had the opportunity to meet with a brand consultant who's willing to give us a free hour for a company time. It would be a free trial of one of their courses on how to take SmackDown to the top. They have 3 categories. Superstars have feelings too. 5-star book and dominate the competition with a smile. So this is free. I'll try this one. I don't know what the hell any of this means. All right, rest your female tag champions this week. I think that we don't have to worry about the commissioner goals anymore. So that won't be happening. Holy crap, everybody's hurt. Sid wants to team with Roman. This would have been... We fired Carlito a week too early. But we'll do Roman and Sid versus someone in Drew. Trish is healthy. Io's healthy. Kalani is healthy. Bianca and Jade are both out for such a long ass time too. That makes that even crazier. This is a lot. This costs a lot. That is a lot for 2 weeks. Who would that help? for this week. If Braun wouldn't freaking look at that, they knew. All right. That was a waste of $15,000. These 4 people. Wesley, I wouldn't mind having on the roster. Maxine Dupree, I wouldn't mind having on the roster. Rich Holland always appears and costs the most money, by the way. Ethan Page. Who would be a nice tag partner for Drew McIntyre? Probably Ethan Page. Maybe Shawn Spears. It is hilarious because I did say something about, you know who the hell would? Actually, Tonga Loa. If you know, you know. Check out 2015 TNA, The Rosin. We're bringing in Tonga Loa for the week to team with Drew McIntyre in the main event. Boom. The Ryzen reunite. Where the hell is LA Knight? Yeah. All right. So that is going to be our main event. I'm glad that I paused and realized it. Crazy ass main event. If you would have told me at the beginning of this video, Roman and Sid Vicious would team together, I would have told you lying. The Rosin would reunite. You would have also been lying. But the Rosin for one night only are reuniting. Boom. Sheamus and Melo, I think, have earned time off. Ilja and Trick have not competed in a hot minute. They'll be in this matchup. Seth needs a match because we are in Des Moines, Iowa, which is close to It has to be close to Davenport, Iowa, because they're both in the same state. We've not had Brunson in a match as well in a minute as well. Sorry, I said as well too many times. If Wesley was a heel, I would definitely sign him for the week to be in that match. It would be a good match for Jalen Brunson, by the way. Jalen Brunson. Seth. Nobody here would have a good match with Jalen Brunson. That's the issue we're running into at the moment. Nobody here would have a good match with Nikki Cross would. So we were signing Rhea up for a crazy ass match up here. They were also tag partners at one point. Remember that? We have no reason to do that. We should, but we have no reason to do that. We're not. We need Seth in a match. We also kind of need Seth to be a heel, if I'm being honest. We're going to do an open challenge. We're actually going to flip a coin. Second time. Do we go with Shawn Spears or do we go with Ethan Page? We're going with Ethan Page because he is cheaper. If Wesley was a heel, I would have went with him. And you could tell that I've given up on the fans because from now on we're just going to be doing ad promos. So as now I'm not really lying to y'all. That way we can get the money. Everybody hear though the low promo though. I'm perfectly fine with this match. I also forgot we were supposed to put Kalani. Let's go ahead and put Kalani in this match. Correct. We'll put Kalani in this match as a Extreme Rules match. And Nikki AHS has got a great promo, so that helps us out a lot. That way that her son was not a complete waste, because... What was the stat thing? Rhea and Kalani will receive a popularity boost, not a tag, which is hilarious, because, you know, Rhea's a damn tag champion. Roman and Sid are teaming tonight. Alright. Crazy ass episode. This might be our craziest. What's our next pay-per-view? So the Survivor Series. Rhea Ripley versus Kalani. Jordan Women's U.S. title Extreme Rules. Trick Williams versus Ilja Dragunov. Ethan Page. Yeah, we're going to try it one more week. We're trying it one more week. I want to see, especially because we have the money for it. I know a lot. I lied again. How many lives have we had this video? Backstage brawl. I would do a casket match, but in that case, Seth would probably get freaking loser. Seth would get freaking loser. That is his new name. Roman Reigns and Sid versus Drew McIntyre and Tonga Loa, collectively known as the Rising. Who would this help the most? I know I said that earlier. Bianca, Jade, Jay, Braun Breaker will probably be back at the pay-per-view. We might do Braun and Jalen Brunson at the at Survivor Series in a cage match. If I went Jade, Bianca, Jay. While we have the money, we should use it. I'm at least I'm gonna purchase it just because I know it's not gonna help us out this week. We're also now down on that. So we'll wait till next weekend potentially use it. Alright. I also know that I said there's gonna be a lot. Alright. I wanna see how this goes, so we're going now. Ethan Page, hilarious, hilarious. Seth, what are you doing? Everybody wants to do a backstage roll this week, don't they? Is it? Is it? Good. Sid, look at Sid. Pops off the screen like he could barely. They had to like extend the text bar to put all of Sid on there. Good for Sid. Rest your female solo champions, which would be Rhea and Trish. And again, I don't have to listen to you anymore. Braun Breaker is out for one more week. And of course, there's not a Braun's injury rehab. We probably won't book Rhea this week because she's at 30 stamina. Kalani is at 11. We will probably have them compete next week. Where is he? Where is he? We have not seen him in a long time, but Dominik is here. All right. This is getting a bit difficult. Keep it up with everybody. I mean, it's gonna bother me to do this because you know what I was gonna say. We're just gonna wait till Braun comes back at the pay-per-view. More talent scout searches. Da 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 da. I kind of hope we get different people. DDP. Wow. I would love DDP on this roster. Booker T as well, but DDP. Oh my God, we got to do it. We're doing it. We're doing it. He's coming back. That was a terrible search right there. What? First of all, DDP as a cruiserweight is insane. I saw that. What the hell could we do with DDP? I think DDP and Jey Uso might be the way to go. Tyrese is back. Penta says Jacob Fatu. Naomi. Braun Strowman. Alexa Bliss. Alright. We ain't had Penta on our roster in a minute. Penta was the man. We will be bringing in Jacob Fatu for the week, though, to face Jalen Brunson. Or what is Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns is a bruiser. This is what sucks. We're definitely having Roman versus Jacob Fatu, by the way. That's what I'm putting together now. Opening contest. These two versus these two. And then next week, we'll do it in a stipulation match for the tag titles. I'm fine with that. Jalen Brunson wants a match. We need Tyrese to be a heel. So we'll do that now. We need to bring in Jacob Fatu for the week. And I would like to bring Penta and DDP in, but we obviously don't have money for all that. That's kind of a lot. I love DDP, but nothing. He doesn't really fit our roster at the moment. Same with Naomi, because everybody here is legitimately going to be here for the week, because we don't really need that many long-term projects. So Jacob Fatu will be here for the week and going against Roman Reigns in the main event for the WWE title. Even though Jacob Fatu and Dominik would be a good tag team, it's not, again, in our long-term plans. We need someone for Brunson to go against. I don't really want to do this match, but Rhea versus Kalani. What screws us in this situation is that it's not if we could do tag matches, this would help out a lot. But obviously we can't. So that's what screws us there. But what do they get out of that? A popularity boost. I think we're gonna opt against it this week. Because Kalani is at a level where she's got 11 stamina left. Alright, but we still need a women's match. We turned Tiffany face way too early because she's just not done many face things. I'm bringing Naomi back for the week, and she's going to go against Io. And Alexa could go against Tiffany. So Tiffany versus Alexa. I know I've said it the other way around, but these matches are a lot better. Io versus Naomi. Boom. And I will be honest with y'all, I'm going to hope nobody gets injured. This would be the only match, if I'm being honest. But even then, I don't think it should be that crazy. Alright. I hate that I've spent so much of our money. But it could be worse. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait to use that one. Who would this help? It would help Jade, or it would help Bianca. We don't really need. We need both Bianca and Jade back at the same time. That's the screwed up part. All right. Sheamus and Ilja Dragunov versus Trick Williams and Carmella. As I've talked about doing this match for many months or weeks. That's why I said months, because if you add all together, that makes months. Tiffany Stratton versus Alexa Bliss. Io Sky versus Naomi. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, WWE title, Hell in a Cell. Crazy stipulation to have. I think it's the best fitting one. Who could be a... We're actually going to change it up. We're doing a special guest referee with Seth as the ref. And we could finally... We're finally getting to where we could do Dominik and Roman. I don't want to screw that up. We're going back to Hell in a Cell. Screw it. Why? I know. I'm not mad. I also. I am mad. I am mad. I don't know. There was no proper way around that. Unless, yeah, there's no real proper way around that. I have no clue what EO has been doing to have a low stamina, by the way. Roman at a 90% popularity is kind of crazy. All right, we got to think what we're doing now. Cecilia's out. I'm flipping him off. Y'all can't see it, but I'm flipping him off. I think we're gonna have Sid replace Ilja for please. It's Roman. I forgot. Okay. Okay, I get it. Y'all don't like me. Did I not put him in a match? That is hilarious. I'm sorry, Jalen. I did not put him in a match. That is hilarious. I thought I put him in a match. I realized that I didn't. That is hilarious. All right. Oh, Brunson's getting his match. All right. Brunson is getting his match. Seth. Bianca we could bring back. All right, let's look at the power cards first. Thing one. I forgot the power cards. All right. I don't really need a fixed match card. I always say I do. If it would be all right, Jade could come back this week. It screwed us because Rhea's gone this week because we could have done a match with them. EO is here, so EO could realistically substitute for Rhea, and I do think that's the route we're going to go. So this needs to be used for Jade. This needs to be used for Bianca. In a regular tag team match, Jade and Bianca versus Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky. In the middle, Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton. We waited too long for this match. Also, don't know how Trish is at 29 cents because she has not competed in a long time. Sid and Trick, special guest referee match. Sheamus is the special ref. And then, where the hell is Tyrese? How did Tyrese get down there? Logically speaking, we should do Seth and Dominik, #1 contenders match. And that could legitimately settle it there. And we ain't doing no promos this week. We just doing straight up matches. All right. Bianca, Belair, and Jade Cargill. I said I was going to do these two in a cage match at the pay-per-view, so we'll do this one as a last man standing match. You can tell how late this gets when I start to speak less and less, because my voice is almost gone, and I still got to film this week's retro review, which to y'all, hopefully is already uploaded. It's kind of that weird timeline thing where I haven't done it, but I will do it. So how many people got vetoed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 6. And Jey Uso has been out for such a long time. It's kind of hilarious at this point. And I'm glad that I remembered because we got to do this. I think that should settle in for the rest of the season. He might have like 1 week. No, rest of the season. All right. I'm sorry to Brunson. That is hilarious. We have not failed at a challenge in a long time. That is kind of hilarious. I forgot about that. Are you kidding me? That does not. That sucks. Well, we do have like a 3-week card. So if I really wanted to bring her back, Dominik is the number 1 contender. That settles that. New champion. Good for Tiffany. I don't know how we got that much money, by the way. Yeah, you can't see me. Oh, no. This should be Brunson, correct. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, have at least 1 gauntlet match this week. That's not happening. What is happening, though, is a tag match that makes sense. Roman and Jalen Brunson versus Dominik Mysterio. I did think about putting Braun Breaker in there, but I opted against it. And Tyrus Hopper. This makes a lot of sense because Roman and Dominik is the next rivalry. There's definitely somebody else that like really wants to be on the show. I just don't know who. Tiffany wants a rematch, or Trish wants a rematch in 3 weeks, or next. Trick in 3 weeks. Roman wants to appear. He is. I don't think anything else. All right, here's where we're about to get really crazy, and we got the money for it. Do we do this or this? This would screw up the whole show. Or I couldn't just do I couldn't do a charity promo if I did this. Screw it. We'll never have $400,000 again. So we have to do an ad promo. I think it'd be a good idea if Sid went out there and did our ad promo for us. So over here, we've not had Kalani in a match in a minute. And over here, we'll probably go with Drew because he got the highest stamina. Alright. I'm alright with that. Thank Tyrese. Tyrese has a good chance of being our next U.S. champion, by the way. I do want to point that out. We might have to be doing Seth versus Braun Breaker next. I have not went through any of these, but I don't know how many. I don't really need to do it until like I need like something specifically. I need Ilja back the earliest. Bianca's also not happy with us. I don't like that necessarily. Because y'all saw what we went through to get Bianca here. Who used that on us? I think that was Raw. It was. So, right back at you. And we'll go from there. All right. I'm going to write this down. I don't think we'll do any trades. And then the next time that we're here, we'll be finishing out Season 5 already. But the next video will probably be quite a while. Kalani, Jordan of SmackDown. Nikita Lyons is winning this. Let's just be honest. Nikita Lyons of Raw. I'm sorry I set Kalani up for this. Shayna Baszler Victoria would be like a good match on main event. Oh my goodness, Kalani. Good for you. Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson versus Dominik Mysterio and Tyrese Halliburton. With Dominik or Tyrese replacing Carlito. And again, we need the U.S. title. So, who did I say? Seth and Braun Breakers, I think, what I said. Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson versus Dominik Mysterio and Tyrese Halliburton. There's definitely like some pun to where we could say from the court to the ring, but that doesn't even sound that creative, so I don't really know what we'll be doing there. But they win. Dominik has got a win streak going now. Shaq going against Baron Corbin. It's definitely what everybody asked for. Shaq. He's gotten good at this. I think when you're Shaq, you are forced to be good at it. It's a tag team match. Every time it's a tag match, I already write down versus Ora Mensa. Ora Mensa and Iron Sheik would have been the better tag team, and Gunther and Drew, obviously, but maybe that's why they went the opposite route. All right. Joseph's probably going to be like so pissed at us because we've not booked him in 2 months. And maybe that's why they're doing all these damn trade offers. They know something that I don't. All right. We've been here for 2 hours and 35 minutes. I already told you I got something to do, which I did tell you that at the beginning. If you stayed here the whole time, I greatly appreciate it. I need to stretch my legs out and go to the bathroom and prepare for the next time that we're here. So, I do appreciate all y'all. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. I'm out for now. Stay safe and all that. Goodbye.